Next on Worcester News Tonight, local reaction to the president ending a program protecting young people who came to the country illegally. Plus, an iconic clothing store in downtown Worcester closing its doors after 89 years in business. Good evening and thanks for joining us. I'm Anna Botari. We begin tonight with our top story, the Trump administration ending the DACA program. The policy protected young people brought into the U.S. illegally. Tonight, Arkan Jamdro caught up with some who say ending the program could impact people close to them. Cam?
Anna, the president's plan to end the DACA program is generating responses all across the country. Here in Worcester, some community members say they're concerned about a future without DACA.
I was heartbroken. I can't even, it was like gut-wrenching. It was like getting punched in the gut.
It's Worcester City Councilor Sarai Rivera's reaction after hearing President Donald Trump's plan to end DACA. The program allows immigrants who came to the U.S. illegally when they were minors to be protected from immediate deportation. Isabella Corazzini is the Central Massachusetts leader for the student immigrant movement and fears the impact rescinding DACA will have on families.
This is what deportation and this is what tearing families apart looks like. It looks like people having to give up their jobs, having to give up their rights, having to give up their humanity.
Nearly 800,000 undocumented immigrants or dreamers could lose protection if the program ends. In a statement Tuesday, the president said, "I do not favor punishing children for the actions of their parents, but we are a nation of opportunity because we are a nation of laws." Councilor Rivera says she's upset with how the affected immigrants are being treated.
These are young people that are going to college. These are young people that are contributing to our community and our society, who did it the right way, and still they are dehumanized and still they are turned away.
In downtown Worcester, a group stood on Highland Street opposing war and justice-related issues. Activist Scott Schaefer Duffy says turning away immigrants is something that can hurt the country more than it can help.
The more fearful we are of having people come to us, the more likely we are to misunderstand other countries and to fight them rather than to engage them and dialogue and understand them and make negotiated settlements.
Now, in response to President Trump's decision, the student immigration movement will be hosting a meeting tomorrow night at the YWCA in Worcester. The group says the movement will be an opportunity for undocumented immigrants to share their stories. Anna?
Thanks, Cam. The Baker-Polito administration says they do not agree with President Trump. In a statement on Twitter Tuesday, Governor Charlie Baker says President Trump made the wrong decision today that could negatively impact our economy and many of the Commonwealth's families. At an event in Worcester today, Lieutenant Governor Karen Polito says Massachusetts is a welcoming state.
Our education system invites people with different backgrounds and experiences to enjoy all that we offer here in a Commonwealth. Certainly, we would like to see the President and now Congress make permanent the DACA program, as that is something we see as productive for people here in our Commonwealth.
Among many other colleges, all 15 Massachusetts community colleges say they're in support of DACA. Quinsigamond Community College's president, Dr. Louis Pedraja, is an immigrant himself. He says he's disappointed in the Trump administration's decision.
I came seeking the American dream. They came seeking that same American dream that we all cherish, the principles that our country stands for: life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. That's what the parents were doing, and that's what I think we should encourage others. That's what we stand for as a nation. And to take that away from children that, of no fault of their own, find themselves here and have made this their home and love this country, I think it is unjust.
He says he hopes Congress and other lawmakers are able to pass a bill to fix the president's decision. In other news, a Clark University professor weighs in tonight after North Korea successfully tests a hydrogen bomb and is apparently planning another missile test this week. It's causing more concern in Washington. Our Catherine Andrioli has some local perspective.
So what they're saying is that if you were to attack me, I have the capacity to attack you back.
An international security expert says these photos of North Korea leader Kim Jong-un are the country's way of letting the world know they have the ability to use nuclear weapons.
They're doing it in a very dramatic, attention-seeking way.
Dr. Srini Sitaraman is a Clark University professor. He thinks the threats need to be addressed diplomatically by the U.S., China, and Russia.
These three are the big key actors right? And tell North Korea in no uncertain terms that this kind of escalatory behavior is not permissible.
U.S. Defense Secretary James Mattis spoke in front of the White House to reporters. It comes as word of another potential missile test later this week.
We are not looking to the total annihilation of a country, namely North Korea. But as I said, we have many options to do so.
Just this morning, there are reports that the regime is preparing for yet another ICBM launch. To the members of the Security Council, I must say, enough is enough.
Siddharaman says President Trump's tweets are only provoking the North Korea regime. He says North Korea would likely not start a war. They're more concerned with a show of power, both in their government and their leader.
Most countries reached a point where it was not in the interest to destroy the world in which they live in. And I think that's what North Korea really wants, is to prevent a regime change.
In Worcester, Catherine Andrioli, Worcester News Tonight.
Tonight, we continue to follow an investigation we first told you about last week. The man accused of kidnapping a young girl in Worcester, then throwing her off a bridge, is back in court today. Monica Madaha has the latest.
Joshua Hubbard arraigned Tuesday on a new charge of attempted murder.
Sir, the court's going to enter a plea of not guilty on your behalf.
The Worcester man already faces a kidnapping charge. Investigators say he took his friend's 7-year-old daughter from her grandfather's house August 27th, strangled her and threw her off the I-290 bridge into Lake Quinsigamond. The girl survived, swam to shore, and got help.
I find it hard to believe that she could have gone off the side of that bridge with no injuries.
Hubbard's attorney says the victim's story doesn't add up.
She's 7 years old. I understand it was a traumatic situation, so is there some inaccuracies in her version? I'm sure there are.
Prosecutors say the girl was choked.
She did have serious choking marks, so I don't dispute something happened to this child. My issue is that my client didn't do it.
The victim's family and Joshua Hubbard are longtime friends, according to his attorney. They've had disputes.
It was nothing that would have led to this, and I think everybody agrees with that. Even the father said that he wouldn't have expected anything like this.
Shaq's clothing store in Worcester is shutting its doors after 89 years in business. Signs posted all over the store's windows announcing big sales. Owner Jeffrey Shaq did not want to go on camera, but does tell Worcester News Tonight the store, which has been in operation since 1928, is set to close September 30th. He also confirmed Shaq's other location in Fitchburg will remain open. The Worcester City Council votes unanimously Tuesday to support a bill banning conversion therapy in Massachusetts. It's the practice where licensed professionals attempt to change a person's sexual orientation or gender identity. Councillor Christian King spoke out at Tuesday night's meeting, sharing his oldest brother is gay and went through this therapy. He says it's unethical and abusive practice.
As a clinician, it's unethical. As you can see, it's denounced by every medical and mental health entity. It promotes discrimination and social bias, and there's no place for it, as the mayor says, in the city of Worcester. There's no place for it in our state, and there's no place for it in our society.
More than 125 lawmakers are signed on as co-sponsors of 2 bills banning conversion therapy. The House and Senate have yet to vote on the issue. Worcester Gay Pride Week is September 3rd through 9th. The group is preparing for annual Pride Parade and Festival this Saturday by adding some color to downtown. Our Brittany Schaefer got a closer look. She has the story.
2 city crosswalks get a colorful makeover Tuesday for Worcester Pride Week. Worcester Pride and local businesses teamed together for the city's first project of its kind.
The volunteers this morning, we just kept seeing them rolling and rolling.
Hanover came, I know Pathways for Change came. We had a bunch of local downtown offices of, the workers either take a day off or volunteer their time to come join us. Super fun. Good day. Everyone was here with love and positivity.
The 2 crosswalks are located by City Hall. One is painted as the rainbow flag and the other as the transgender flag.
The rainbow flag includes everyone. It's just peace and love and unity.
The transgender flag, which is traditional baby blue for boy, pink for girl, white or neutral, and no matter which way you fly the flag, it's correct.
Worcester Pride says the crosswalks allow their message to be seen and noticed.
They're highly visible. You obviously have a very large traffic count. They're in downtown. You see this as a trend across the country. That's the message, is that it's acceptance, diversity, and stronger together.
Pedestrians say it adds vibrancy to downtown and makes people think about the motive.
It's wonderful. I think what they did was awesome, and they should just do it all around the city, because it just like brightens up the whole city, and the meaning to it is just awesome. People should just accept other people for who they are.
I think it makes the city more alive.
And Worcester Pride says the community has been supportive.
We actually posted a GoFundMe page in order to help cover the cost of the paint, and we reached the goal before the event, so it was fantastic that the community funded this whole project.
Now, Worcester Pride says the paint should last through the rest of the week, and they hope that this is a project the city can do annually. Brittany Schaefer, Worcester News Tonight.
A new city playground is the first of its kind. Coes Park offers a chance for people who may not be able to experience the joy of a regular playground a chance to do so. It's located next to historic Stearns Tavern, where come next spring, people with disabilities will have the chance to gain work experience. Our Rosalind Flaherty was at today's ribbon cutting and has more.
Nancy Garcolzi makes her way onto the new Coes Park. The universally accessible playground allows her to move around easier.
Accessibility has never really been a forefront of the architecture, and now it's coming to light.
We want maybe a grandfather who's on a walker to be able to come and share this experience with his grandchildren, or a child who's in a wheelchair to play with their fully able brothers or sisters.
Tuesday, city officials opened the playground, which sits next to historic Stearns Tavern. Lieutenant Governor Karen Polito announced another $300,000 in MassWorks funding for the maintenance of the park. She says the state has invested a total of $800,000 towards the Coes Park and Stearns Tavern project.
This is a project that stands up as a model here in this Commonwealth for making areas like this accessible to people with different abilities.
City Councilor Gary Rosen says the playground has been in the works for 4 years. It has 57 features, which all are handicap accessible, including wide paths and a rubber surface.
We always wanted a playground here, and we wanted a park that's multi-generational.
Next door, Stearns Tavern is under renovation, but when complete, the Seven Hills Foundation will be able to offer training and education for people with disabilities.
People see parks all the time. People see buildings all the time. But when it's for a particular purpose like this, that's what it makes it.
Rosalind Flaherty, Worcester News.